Let us start with a prayer. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे. Everyone can raise your hands. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Yeah.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare.
Mukam karoti
Hare
vachalam panghum langhayate girim yat krupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Nashtpraeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you all once again for joining. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So today is a very, very auspicious day. Today is Amlaki Ekadashi. Okay. So last week we discussed on Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 up to verse 66 we discussed. Yes, Puja Mataji, you want to ask something? You have your hand raised.
Um, yes, something is wrong with my phone. Can I come to another device?
Yes, you can log out and you can log in from another device.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So last week we talked about Bhagavad Gita, verse 64 and 65. And in the verse 65, we talked about how one can come out of the threefold miseries and how one's intelligence is well established. So let's back up a little bit. We are all in Kali Yuga. Welcome to in this Kali Yuga, we are blessed with Kali Yuga memories. And in Kali Yuga memories, like, okay, sometimes like, okay, there is, I don't know about all of you, but at least I am in that state where a lot of it gets dissipated very soon. So I'll want to just ask, like, does anyone remember like what we covered in our last session? At least one or two points. Yes, Lokomohan Krishnaprabhu will come to you, but I want to ask other two members. Okay, Lokomohan Krishnaprabhu, why don't you start and then maybe, okay, Sakshi Mataji, yes, please go ahead.
We were talking about uh, basically the characteristics, and I'm going to paraphrase very badly.
No
Like
problem.
what qualifications you need to be able to I forget. Okay, I just go back to simply what I remember. What really stayed with me was the three types of and again the pains that we have.
Yes,
One is inflicted by our mind and our body.
yes.
Second one is I mean, I'm not saying the Sanskrit words Adi Bhautik
No
and Adi
problem.
because
No problem. You can
uh,
tell the English. The one that you
second one
said
is
so far is the Adhyatmik. Yes,
Adhyatmic. Then second one is inflicted by others
yes. Adi Bhautik.
around us. It could be like the family members or whatever, like
Hmm,
somebody in our circle is in pain and that's causing pain
absolutely.
to us. And the third one is Devik.
Adi Devik, yeah. Problems due to
Yes.
natural disasters. Yes,
Yes.
very good. That's a very
That
important takeaway.
yeah, that was one of them. Because
Yes.
I remember, I don't know if it was Lokamohan Prabhu or it was Amit Prabhu. One of them mentioned, you asked this question, one of them answered that. So that I clearly remember. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Let us ask Amit Prabhu, you have anything?
We talked about the peace formula.
We talked about the peace formula. Yes, we talked about the peace formula. What is that peace formula?
Krishna is a supreme enjoyer.
Hmm.
Krishna, chant about Krishna and offering something to Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, yes. So far you're good.
Mhm.
Okay. Let us ask Lokamon Krishna Prabhu. In 1 minute, what is the immediate takeaway, Lokamon Krishna Prabhu, that you got?
Yeah, we also discussed that to a devotee who are in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries will be there. It is not that miseries will not be there, but our mind should be by chanting, and our mind should be so stable that we will not be disturbed in those miseries. That also we discussed.
Okay. Perfect. So let us do a quick recap since Pooja Mataji has joined us. So just to give a quick recap, we are, let's visualize this thing. What is happening? The Kauravas and Pandavas, such powerful parties, they have kind of assembled in the battlefield. It's a fierce battle, and it's not about one or two persons. There are hundreds, it's like lakhs of people are there, and the war is about to begin. And at that time, when the conches from both sides have been blown, Arjun says that, okay, Krishna, can you take your chariot? Conches are blown means like, okay, in the real life scenario, if you think there is gunshots here, okay, war is about to start, okay, guns are pointing at each other, let's shoot, right? That's the time when Arjun says, okay, can you take me your chariot? Let me see like who are on the other party. And he says, look, oh, I cannot fight. Just imagine the situation. Krishna is on the chariot. Arjun says, okay, I cannot fight. I cannot fight with them. And he's the main person supposed to fight. In that turbulent situation, Krishna gives him that message of Bhagavad Gita. And this is a question answer session happening between both of them. And firstly, Krishna chastises him. He tells that the identity of our identity is that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. And then after that, Krishna goes about detailing out like what the soul is. And then Krishna explains like, okay, that various things like, okay, how, what are the things that happens like the different type of yogas, because the chapter we are studying is contents of Gita summarized. And at this point of time, Krishna is summarizing everything that is happening. It comes to a point, and just to cut it short, we reach a point when Krishna is telling that, okay, the how one's intelligence is well established. Moving further into verse 66, let's see what Krishna is saying here. Verse 66 of Bhagavad Gita. नास्ति बुद्धिर अयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चा न चा भावयात शांतिर अशांतस्य कुत सुखम. Very, very important verse. Krishna is saying, please try to see this translation. Very, very, as you see this, it will be what Krishna is saying is one who is not connected to the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So, my dear friends, let us try to understand this, analyze this statement that Krishna is saying. What is Krishna saying is one who is not connected to with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness. Okay, one who is not connected with Krishna. Okay, in Krishna consciousness means what is this definition of Krishna consciousness? Prabhupada will tell that just in this purport. That person can have neither transcendental intelligence, means he will not have Daivic intelligence. Okay, connected, if he's not connected to the power source, then no power will come, right? He's just trying to do he or she is trying to do everything in this material world, and that person will not even have steady mind. Okay, then what is the possibility of peace for that person? And how can there be happiness without peace? See, think about this. Can there be, if one is not peaceful, can that person be happy? Have you seen anyone like who is very peaceful but unhappy?
No.
No, no. In order to remain happy, one has to be peaceful. So, अशांतस्य कुत सुखम. अशांत हो गया तो कुत मीन्स कहाँ से आएगा सुखम? Krishna is saying like that. So Krishna is here. Let's see what Prabhupada is saying. It's translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter. We'll see that in the later, but it's said that when one understands that Krishna, this is the principle that our Amit Prabhu was saying. These are the 3 principles that are required to be peaceful. What are those? That Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of the sacrifice and penance. Whatever we do, right? Whatever we do, vrat we do, whatever we do, any yagya that we do, right? That is Krishna. We are doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. When we understand that He is the proprietor, anything that is happening in this cosmic manifestation is all the proprietor, the owner of this is Krishna. So if we think, let me ask this, Amit Prabhu, you know the owner of Google or Microsoft. Will you be worried about getting a job? I mean, the person is your very good friend. Does it really matter like what stream you're studying? Pooja Mataji, you basically the person who who is um, who is a president at Amazon
Mhm.
is
Okay.
a very good family friend, and you regularly connect with person. That person is getting a job a problem at Amazon,
No.
right? What the point that here it is, Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Okay, and that and everything that we do is for Krishna's pleasure. Okay, Krishna is only the enjoyer of everything. But the third point is that person is our ever well wisher. When we know that he is our real friend at every situation, will any situation really bother us? If our conviction on this point is very fixed up, that okay, that he is only the proprietor, okay, everything is happening because of his arrangement. So let me give you an example. We say that okay, oh, I'm doing bhakti, but you know why is this happening to me, or why is that happening to me, right? We think that okay, maybe we are chanting, we are doing something, and we want something to go our way, right? Everyone wants things to go our way, right? When we think, does anyone disagree that we don't want things to our way? So when we see Jivero Swarup hoy, we have to understand this point very carefully. Jivero Swarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. The real identity of a jiva or a living entity, any living entity, it's not human being, but any living entity, is that they are eternally servant of Krishna. Eternally, what are they? They are servant of Krishna. So we are servant of Krishna, and whatever arrangement that is happening in our life is the best arrangement if Krishna is our friend. How do we understand this? Let's say Krishna is our supreme father. So now our Sakshi Mataji has two children, two boys. Now, as a parent, she knows best, like, okay, which classes are good for my children, right? If a mother will be very would like to see that okay, if this is the this child is sharp, let me get him onto these classes, right? So that they can still do better in that. Oh, this child is a bit weak on that. Okay, let me get him a tutor who can help him with that. Oh, he plays nice tennis. Let me put him into a tennis session, like, okay, so that he can really be right. What is the parent doing? The parent is planning for that particular child. The parent, now the child, like, okay, consider the child psychology. Child has been put into a session. Mommy, but I don't want to do that. Right? I don't want to eat this food, but the mother will give that food because that is good for the child's health. Okay. So sometimes we are put into situations, we think that, okay, oh, I am doing bhakti. Why is Krishna doing this to me? But we have to understand that Krishna knows best what is good for me. What if the real thing should be, what do I learn from this? Because this life is a it, it is that Bhagavad Gita which Arjun was narrated by Krishna. When we are hearing this, right, we are having life lessons in our life, in every situation, if we understand that this is for us. So maybe someone is torturing us. That time we have to think that, okay, maybe Krishna wants me to become humble through this situation. Krishna wants me to become tolerant in this situation. somehow if I am able to tolerate this for the pleasure of Krishna, this will please Krishna. See, what is easy? It is easy to attack someone. Someone says something, well, there's an immediate glare of something that goes out. That is easy. That is not that difficult. But what is difficult? Difficult is to be tolerant in that situation. But and to remember Krishna, taking shelter of Krishna, that is the difficult thing. Because many times, if we want to contemplate on a thought, why did they say this to me? Just observe this pattern. If we think about a thought, right, why did that person say this to me? Why did that person say this? If you contemplate on this, you don't want to react. But somehow, when that person comes in front of us, there will be a reaction. At slightest provocation, there is reaction, which we learned two sessions before. What happens when we contemplate on the objects of senses? Then lust develops, and through lust, what happens? Our mind becomes completely absorbed in that one, and slowly down the chain, like, okay, when that lust is unfulfilled, then there is anger, and with anger we lose our memory, we lose our intelligence, we lose whatever we have heard in Bhagavad Gita, and then, like, okay, we behave in an animalistic way, we forget everything. So it is very important to understand these three principles. So that is why it is said, Srila Prabhupada is saying, therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Okay, because outside what happens? What are people doing? What is the goal of a person? To earn money, to get into a good college because he can earn more so that he can enjoy, right? That is the goal of the person. But what they do not know is what next. If earning money and enjoyment was the only goal, why are people who are so rich and famous committing suicide? Why are people who are so rich and famous going to a psychologist to get depression tablets? Right? Because otherwise, if money and enjoyment was the only thing, we have to understand from this how the nature of this temporary world is. Disturbance, Srila Prabhupada says, is due to want of an ultimate goal. One who does not have a goal, right? I have a nice car, BMW. Okay. The tires are good, tank is full, or maybe I have a Rolls Royce. Everything is nice, but I don't know where I have to go. Is it of much use? It's not of much use. So if one who does not have a goal, that person is always disturbed. And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. So one who has understood, not just understood, one who is constantly thinking of this point. Oh, Krishna is only the enjoyer. Because we have to remind ourselves. Our mind is such, it will cheat us. Mind will make us forget that Krishna is the enjoyer. So if we constantly remind us, then only we will be steady at the time of the difficulties. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is always in distress and is without peace. However much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. You know what? What this reminded me? I don't know. How many of you have watched the movie Three Idiots? Okay. So in Three Idiots, I don't know if you remember that professor. Okay. The professor who stood there, when he would be in terrible anxiety, right, he would smile as if to make a show of that. Okay. You know what? I have seen real life persons who do that exact same thing. I mean, they may they want to feel peaceful, but they are extremely disturbed. so so if so here Prabhupada makes a very important points. One who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is always in distress. We have to understand that, okay, Jivero Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das, that I want to serve Krishna. And to the extent we are serving Krishna, right, at that point of time, we will see that, okay, we are peaceful. To the extent we want to do things which are for our own enjoyment, right, we will understand how our peace gets stolen. We can get temporary, uh, in temporary situations, we can get joy. Okay, oh, I did this thing, it is not in Krishna consciousness, but see, I'm happy. It's only a momentary thing. It will last for some time. Because in this material world, the nature is like, okay, the moment something goes wrong, right? Maya will whip us. Initially, Maya will give us attraction because there is what Maya will do is like, okay, if we are trying to do our Krishna consciousness, Maya will give us that, okay, oh, you are doing too much Krishna consciousness. Maya will send persons, Maya will preach to our mind, Maya will send all types of ammunitions will be used. You are doing too much. I think you should relax. You should take care of this, that. Like, there are so many other things. You're becoming impractical. Why don't you focus on something, take a break, do something, and to further give us assurance that this really works. As soon as you enter into that, you might feel, okay, oh, life is better actually. Oh, that means that's inner voice that I heard from my heart, that was so truthful. It is Krishna speaking, but it is actually voice of Maya, and it may take us down the rail to a certain point when we realize that, okay, it is very difficult to go back to where I was in my Krishna consciousness. Example is Vishwamitra Muni. Vishwamitra Muni was not a devotee as such. Okay, he was a yogi, but then when his yogic siddhi started increasing, Indra was very much, I would say, he was anxious that this person will become so powerful. So he sent Menka, and Menka came with the tinkling of the uh, what is that, pile. And all Vishwamitra Muni did was he looked at her, and with that glance, he felt attracted. And all his yogic siddhis, like he lost everything. This is an example how Maya plays with us. And Maya is very, very powerful because Devi Eshugunamaya Mama Maya Duratya. It is the energy of Krishna. But our only hope is the shelter of Krishna at every point. We may have difficult times, but if we are constantly trying to take shelter of Krishna, then eventually we will Krishna will pull us. It is not that we can win it, but Krishna will pull us. Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada says, is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. We have to cultivate our relationship with Krishna. And how can we do that? By offering bhoga to Krishna, by talking to Krishna, by remembering Krishna always in every situation. It may not happen initially with every situation, but as we continue to do that, things over a period of time, will change. I want to give you a couple of examples. Let's think about Draupadi. She had 5 powerful husbands, but when Dushashan was pulling her sari, at that time, The most powerful husbands could not do anything. They were helpless, and Draupadi was the most helpless lady in that court. They were the most powerful in this world, and she took shelter of Krishna. Krishna manifested as unlimited sari and saved her. This same Draupadi, when Durvasa Muni sent his 60,000 disciples, at that point of time, she knew that, okay, if she cannot feed them, then this Duryodhana had sent Durvasa Muni, then her husbands will be cursed. So, and she had an Akshay Patra from where she had the boon from Surya Dev that she could get any amount of food in that Akshay Patra, any type of food. But that boon was only till she has the food. On that day, she already had the food. So she could not use that Akshay Patra. She was in the most pitiable state and she called out for Krishna. And what did Krishna do? He accepted only, he told Draupadi, get me whatever you have. And she told, I don't have anything. He said, okay, look into that same container. When she looked, she just found one palak, little portion of palak. And that's all. She gave it to Krishna. And Krishna said, I am very satisfied. And as soon as Krishna said he's very satisfied, he burped out. And all the 60,000 disciples and Durvasa Muni who were taking their bath, after which they were going to have the prasadam, that was their plan. They all burped. And then they said, okay, now what do we do? We already feel so full. How can we go back? And then Krishna told that, okay, now go ahead and call Durvasa Muni and his disciples. So Bhim went to call them. Bhim said, okay, please come. And then Durvasa Muni said, come on, let us run away from here because I cannot even show my face to them. And then Bhim said, no, 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 don't go, don't go. And then Durvasa Muni and his disciples thought that, okay, oh, he's coming fast now. If we don't have, this is Bhim, he's coming, let's run more fast. And they all ran away. How is it happening? Because when Krishna is tusht, then Jagat is tusht. When Krishna is satisfied, then entire universe gets satisfied. We don't feed our hands and legs and nose and ears, right? We just feed our stomach, and from there all the nutrition goes everywhere. We water only the root of the plant, and the water reach and the nutrition goes to all the leaves. So similarly, if we just focus on Krishna, then we are we don't have to really worry. We just have to be peaceful, thinking that, okay, Krishna has put me in this condition. Whatever condition we are in, Krishna definitely has a plan. Krishna is ultimately the proprietor, and it is for his enjoyment. Let me orchestrate my life in a way that I can please him. He is my only shelter, and I know for a fact that Krishna is saying that I am your ever well-wisher. In case of Parikshit Maharaj also something like that happened. Ashwatthama, he shot the Brahmastra. And this Brahmastra, see, nowadays we have weapons. What happens is if you shoot a weapon, if an atom bomb is shot at a place, it will go ahead and create a massive destruction. In Mahabharata, it is described that this Ashwatthama, when he shot this Brahmastra was so subtle, it will go to that target only. No matter where the target is going, okay, it will go to that target only. So this Ashwatthama shot this to destroy the next generation of Pandavas. And that was because Abhimanyu was already killed. The 5 sons of the Pandavas were already killed. And Abhimanyu's son was the only person left. So Ashwatthama shot it in the um, um, shot it. Like, okay, he Uttara, Abhimanyu's wife was pregnant with Parikshit Maharaj, and he Ashwatthama shot this so that like, okay, her son was destroyed, but she spared. And what happened as a result of that? When Uttara cried out to Krishna, Krishna went inside and she removed the Brahmastra from there. And as a child, before even birth, Parikshit Maharaj had darshan of Krishna. Such a fortune. And that is why his name is Parikshit, like, okay, because when he came out, right, he was always looking that, okay, is this Krishna? Is this Krishna? Is this Krishna? So he's always testing. That is why in Hindi, what do we say? Pariksha means test. He's testing everyone. So his name is Parikshit. That's how his name is Parikshit. So, but in the material world, if you see, you take any character, Michael Jackson, like he had wealth and he had power, but he did not have peace. He was totally, you take any Bollywood, Hollywood, cricket star, anything like that, but you see after, like they may be superstar at one point of time, but then there are down times also that comes. And when someone is very high and from there when they go low, right, it is very difficult for them to take it. Very, very difficult. So that is how the nature of this world is. So let's move forward. Next verse, 67. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmanon anuvidyate tadasya harati prajnam vayurnavam ivambhasi. Translation: as a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Very crucial and very important point. It is saying that, okay, like on the in an ocean, if there is a strong wind and there is a boat standing, that boat will be flown away, right? Similarly, if one of our senses is roaming, like if the eye is uncontrolled or the ear is uncontrolled, then that can take away all the man's intelligence. We have example for that. Ajamil. Ajamil was born in a pious family. He was from a Brahmin family, and he grew up in a pious background. And when he went to when his father sent him the forest, he had gone to chop woods and bring it for puja, right? But he saw one one low um, low grade lady actually with a person. He saw a prostitute there, and what happened? He got contaminated. If you see um, Kaikai, Kaikai loved Lord Ram. In fact, he loved Lord Ram more than Kaushalya. But he gave his ears, she gave her ears to hear what Manthara was saying. And as a result of that, what happened? She completely got contaminated. This is why association is very important. whom we are hearing from, where are we giving our ears to? We could be in the middle of such people. Sometimes it is very unavoidable. But whom we are giving our ears is very, very important. And if we, this is why when we get contaminated, what happens? We lose our taste. We immediately lose our taste. And when we sit to chant also, like okay, all this contaminated thoughts will come flow into our mind. We know about Ravan. See, Ravan was a devotee of Lord Shiva. He was he was full of passion. He had done all numerous sinful activities. But if you see how Ravan came um, like face to face with Ram for this fight, it goes back to the point like, okay, where he heard about Sita, Sita Maya from Shurpanakha. Shurpanakha said, "Oh, Ravan, she's so beautiful," and she started narrating the beauty of Sita, and Ravan thought, like, okay, oh, I have to enjoy. And once you develop the tendency to enjoy anything, outside of Krishna, okay, everything is meant for Krishna's enjoyment. When we try to enjoy separate from Krishna, then we have that Ravan like tendency in us. And what is the condition of Ravan? What happens to Ravan? He is killed. When we try to serve Lord Ram like Hanuman, that Hanuman is in the monkey body, but that Hanuman becomes most dear. And no matter one could be as powerful as Ravan, but he is killed there. So here, Srila Prabhupada says in purport, unless all of the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, even one of them engaged in sense gratification can deviate the devotee from the path of transcendental advancement. This is such an important point. As mentioned in the life of Maharaj Amrish, we discussed about this point, Mat Para, because Amrish Maharaj used all his senses in service to the Lord. All of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness. For that is the correct technique for controlling the mind. So we have to understand one thing. See, how do we translate this in our life? So we have to understand this, that we are all looking for higher taste. See, if one craves for restaurant food, it does not mean that okay, he has to stop eating food. He has to have nice prasadam. And a person can enjoy nice prasadam because that is tasted. We should give our tongue the prasadam. I mean, just few days back, like, okay, we were having prasadam, like our Amit Prabhu is here. So we were having prasadam at Dimpa Gorangpu's place. There was biryani and so many items that were there. So, gulab jamun and whatnot, like, okay. Uh, and all of these that are offered to Krishna, they are such, they are not just feeding our body, but they are feeding our soul, which is very, very important. And with anything and everything that feeds our soul, what happens is it is uplifting us. We may not observe it on a day to day basis because these are gradual changes that are happening. But as these changes happen over a period of time, we can see how our senses start getting controlled. We can observe this because at one point of time, we may have a tendency to scream, shout, like, okay, maybe even use like bad words also. But from there, we might see gradual progression that, okay, our language is changing. We may uh, we may react, but our tendency to react has reduced. Okay, that means that those are gradual signs that things are changing. We can observe that those patterns actually. So one who is chanting, one who is taking Krishna Prasad, okay, and it is said that like if we see, we will have tendency to see something with the eyes. So we should like we may want to scroll through those Instagram and Facebook and other WhatsApp posts, but like, okay, we can watch Krishna conscious movies. There are so many movies actually, and if anyone is looking for that, like, okay, let me know. Like uh, there are so many options for all ages. There are so many movies, so many dramas. There is this Abhay Charan serial. We can learn about Srila Prabhupada. There is, and these are very high quality dramas actually. If we like to hear something, or someone who is very much addicted to hearing music, they can hear Kirtan. If we want to hear news, then we can hear this Bhagavad Katha. Through that, like we will get so much to learn. We can apply them in our life. Like, okay, our life will change. Then if we can use our legs to go to the temple, if we are going to school, colleges, work, we should think that, okay, we are going there to serve. And with everything, we should try to tie Krishna. Like, okay, how do I tie this thing to Krishna? That is what we should be thinking. And if you have to smell, we can smell the flower that has been offered to Krishna. Any flower that is offered to Krishna, right? It does not remain in any normal flower, because that flower gets spiritualized when it's offered with love to Krishna. The food gets spiritualized when it's offered to Krishna. So that is how invaluable this is. And Srila Prabhupada said that if first thing we should try to do is we should try to control our tongue. This tongue can be controlled by two things. One is chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and another is by tasting Krishna Prasad. If we try to do these two things, then slowly what will happen is it will like we will transcend, like, okay, our previous states, and we'll slowly get to a, I mean, we can ourselves observe actually we should take a stock on where we stand from time to time, at least every 6 months, at least 1 year. We should try to do that. So that will be, that way we will also feel confident, like, okay, where we are headed towards. So we'll take this last verse and then we'll stop here. Tasmadyasya mahabaho nigritani sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya pragya pratishtita. Krishna is saying, therefore, I told you about all this story, Arjuna. O mighty armed Arjuna, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, one can curb the forces of sense gratification only by means of Krishna consciousness. You cannot artificially curb it. That is by engaging all the senses in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Sometimes it might be difficult also to do this. So what we should do is, we should pray to Krishna. We should pray to Srila Prabhupada. We should pray to Tulsi Maharani that I want to come out of this, my tendencies. As enemies are curbed by superior forces, the senses can similarly be curbed, not by any human endeavor, but only by keeping them engaged in the service of the Lord. We might think, okay, our mind will become controlled, and after some time only we may be down. We cannot control it actually, but Krishna can. See, when we sing Kirtan, I always remember this. This is so, we do Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. So when we go in the temple, we say, Shri Shri Radha Kunjabiri ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Mai Subhadra ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Shri Srinath Ji Bal Gopal Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Why are we saying this? Because we can always think, okay, my anarthas, I cannot win over them. But all glories to these personalities. All glories to Krishna because they can win over it. So, Jai. All glories to you, Krishna, because you can win over my anarthas. One who has understood this, that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established intelligence, and that one should practice this practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, is called a sadhak, or a suitable candidate for liberation. Mukti, right? Those who want liberation. Okay, what is the definition of that? Who is the suitable candidate? A sadhak. And who is that sadhak? One who has understood that only by Krishna consciousness is one really established in intelligence, in the right intelligence. And one should practice this art under the guide of a bona fide spiritual master. See, because why do we go to colleges? Okay, why can't we, like our Puja Mataji is here, our Amit Prabhu is here. Amit Prabhu, you could have studied a correspondence course only. Why do you need to go to a university? If a medical doctor is there, if that person is studied, like we go to a, we want to get operated for, let's say, kidney stone. Operation needs to be done. This guy comes and says, okay, you don't have insurance. It will be, or let's say in India, they come back and say, okay, it will be 25,000 rupees. Another person says, look, I can do it for 2,000 rupees. Oh, you can do it for 2,000? What is your degree? I am also MBPS. Is it, where did you pass it from? I did from so and so university. Correspondence course. Correspondence course. You will operate on my kidney. It is better I give 25,000 for that. I cannot forget about kidney. I will lose my life with you. No, I have all the instruments. Let me. I will. Okay, 1,000. If you free also, if you give, I will not do it with you. So why are we doing that? We want someone who is coming from a bona fide place. So similarly, when we have to understand Krishna, don't we need someone somewhere bona fide? It is said that Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nameva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyatha. Only by Harinam, Harinam, Harinam. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way by which one can cross over this difficult ocean of Kali Yuga. What that means is, like, if we don't take shelter of Krishna consciousness, we have to take birth again. And as Kali Yuga is progressing, we may have seen 100 years back how things were. Slowly, things are getting worse, and slowly there are so many things which are getting worse, and the culture, everything is getting degraded. So how will it be like 100 years from now, 200 years from now? Kali Yuga is, this is just 5,000 years into Kali Yuga, and there are 427,000 years of Kali Yuga left. How worse it could get. So an intelligent person thinks that, okay, how can I make a permanent plan to get out of this? I don't want to be in this. That is real intelligence. One who takes onto Krishna consciousness. That is under guidance. That is a sadhaka. So with that, I would conclude, and I want to share that on coming Tuesday, that is 3rd of March, it is a very, very auspicious day. It is Gaur Purnima. It is Tuesday in Michigan. Now, depending on the Vedic, depending on the Gaudiya calendar, it may differ actually at other places. So I would suggest you to make a note of what date is at your end for your location. But this is very, very auspicious. And generally, it is recommended that, okay, we fast till moonrise if possible, if our health is permitting. But even if we are unable to fast, and we can do multiple levels of fastings are there. Okay, one can be nirjala, one can have water, one can have milk and fruits, or one can have ekadashi item also. Like if absolutely their health is not permitting, that can also be done. But crucial thing is like we should pray. We should pray for pure devotion. We should pray that if somehow or other, like okay, if these teachings have inspired us in any way, then we should think about Srila Prabhupada, who came. He came to Western world, but even before that also, he used to sleep only between 9:30 and 12 o'clock. Only 2.5 to 3 hours he would sleep. That's all he would sleep in a whole day. And he would get up by 12, between 12 and 1, and he would be translating these books till 5 a.m. He took all the pain in an age when he was over 70. Even if you go to the YouTube and if you search like, okay, Srila Prabhupada's last moments, you will see that when he was leaving his body, at that time also he was translating the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam. That personality who came to give us this, all these temples that we go to. There are so many times that I have been to different places. Devotees who do not even know me have hosted me at their homes just because I'm just trying to, I mean, just because like I'm part of the Srila Prabhupada's family. They are very, very exalted, but there are so, I'm, if we think about it, like, okay, we would have never got exposure to any of the spiritual places, any of the dhams had Srila Prabhupada not come. We would have not got a chance to hear all this Hari Katha. We would have not got to know who is Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, what are these different pastimes. From childhood, I read so many storybooks, but none of these storybooks, I read so many books about Krishna, but none of these books gave so much depth of detail that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Srila Prabhupada has given us so many pure devotees, our Guru Varga. It is such an immense, like even if we feel the slightest gratitude for Srila Prabhupada, then we should try to see what will please Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada said that, okay, what will please him is that we ourselves become pure devotees. And to become pure devotee does not mean that, okay, we have to leave our occupation, we become a sannyasi or a brahmachari or something like that. We can be in whatever occupation we are doing. But what pure devotion means is that lovingly we want to serve Krishna in the following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. That is what is meant by pure devotion, because Srila Prabhupada himself is a pure devotee. So we should follow once we understand, like, okay, the kind of life that he has lived. And to understand this, it is very important for those of you who have not read, we should try to read Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrit. For those of you who cannot read, they can they can view the Abhay Charan serial. The kind of struggles that he has been through is unthinkable, is inconceivable. Because when he reached US, I mean, he came to a place like where he has no place to stay, where he has absolutely no money. He had with him only a trunk with him, which was filled with Srimad Bhagavatam. That's it. And from there, he started preaching to some hippies who had absolutely no clear idea of what they will do in their life. And those hippies who were completely lost in their own world, some of them were drunkards, some of them were illicit sex mongers, some of them were actually, I'm wrong. All of them were drunkards, meat eaters, illicit sex mongers, and meat eaters. They had all of these. But when they got the association of Srila Prabhupada, they transformed their life. We need association of Srila Prabhupada. And how can we get that association of Srila Prabhupada? We can get that association by reading his books, by hearing from him. We should try to understand. And you know what? I was just hearing today a very beautiful a short clip that someone, I don't know who sent me, but one person sent me, and Srila Prabhupada at one point of time, he tells his disciples on the occasion of appearance day of his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that I am very grateful to all of you. He's telling his disciples, you are all representatives of my Guru Maharaj. My Guru Maharaj has sent you to me, and you are all fulfilling the instructions of my Guru Maharaj. And saying that, he becomes so, his heart so much melts that he starts crying there. And he offers his gratitude. So I will try to see if I can share that one, but it was very touching. Uh, having been through so much struggles, it was Srila Prabhupada never said that, okay, I did all these things. He always gave credit to others. It was he who succumbed these multiple heart attacks, and he came and he took so much challenges, so much pain. Like, okay, it is just someone was here today at my home, and I had to go out just for few seconds. I went outside the garage door. It was so windy and was shivering. But Srila Prabhupada in winter, he did not even have winter clothes. He was waiting. Such an Jagadguru Acharya, he was waiting in line to get into a public toilet booth. That kind of struggles he has gone through. And when he was 70 plus, we can imagine he has never lived in this country. So we should try to read these books. As we read these books with the kind of urgency that we read these books will reveal to us the message of Krishna. When we try to, because see, when we try to understand why is in these last 3 verses that we read, there is so much stress on sense gratification. Like, okay, we should not do sense gratification. We should try to engage our senses in Krishna consciousness. Why is it being said like this? Because if we go to the doctor and we say we have a disease, and doctor says take this medicine, but don't do these things, right? Doctor says, right, okay, don't take this food, that food. Okay, you have cold, don't take. You have cold, you have fever, don't take any fried food. Don't take anything let's say in India, sometimes they say, don't take anything, ice cream or something like anything that is cold. But if we don't follow the doctor, we do whatever we want to do and we take the medicine also, will we be cured? Right? We will not be cured, or it will take us longer time to get cured. Ideally, we may have got cured in 3 days, but now it will take us like 1 month or 15 days or whatever. Or it will, and I know so many people like that. Eh, I know one person I told earlier also, this person had a kidney problem and doctor told that, okay, you should not take um, very spicy food. And this person could not live without spicy food. He was hospitalized because of kidney problem, but he was bribing the people over there to get food from restaurant, and he was hiding and eating it. You know what happened? His kidney collapsed. He died because he was not able to follow the instruction. So Krishna, who is our creator, who has given this human life's manual, he's saying, okay, we have this 6 anarthas: lust, envy, greed, lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, and illusion. We forget that, okay, we are spirit soul. We operate at the body level thinking that, okay, whatever we can see is all permanent, but those are all temporary. And we do not feed our soul. And as a result of that, what happens is we suffer time and again, like, okay, in this body. So let us all pray to Lord Chaitanya that we get pure devotion by which we can serve Krishna. As we serve with pure devotion, we will feel the bliss in our heart. Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj is a right example, actually. I was reading his, he was sharing, no, I was actually hearing from him. So he was sharing that, okay, he's having so many health challenges. He cannot even forget about walking. He cannot even take food on his own. Everything has to be done for him. Okay, his disciples are taking so much care of him in this aspect. Even if he has to go to, if he has to go to pass urine, he has to be taken by his servants actually, and he has to tell his servants, okay, please put my Brahmin thread, like, okay, on my right ear. So that is such a difficult situation. But he says that, okay, as I'm remembering Krishna, I feel lot of, as I'm reading, as I'm hearing this, because his disciples read this Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita to him, he feels lot of bliss. As he's chanting, he's feeling lot of bliss. He said that, okay, I'm suffering so much at a bodily level, but but as I'm remembering Krishna, I'm feeling so much bliss from within. Which means that it is one of the things they take away that I took was like, okay, at the bodily and at the soul level, these are two different things. At bodily level, we could be at one platform, but the soul is not restricted to that. And we have to focus on the soul, which is eternal. We should not be carried away by the things of this body. We should try to keep our body healthy. We should make all endeavors to keep our body healthy. And we should try to, in this world, mental health is another thing. So we should keep our mind as uncontaminated as possible by staying in Krishna conscious. And by doing that, we will also be feeding our soul. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Shri Gaurangam Mahaprabhu's Abhirvav Tithi Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's Abhirbhav Tithi Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So I will take a pause here and ask, like, if any of you have any questions or any comments or any suggestions. Yes, Puja Mataji.
First of all, thank you so much for adding me to this class. I feel very grateful. So my
Hare Krishna.
question is, you mentioned that chanting Harinam is the only way to cross the difficulties of Kali Yuga, or something.
Kali
Could you
Yuga.
please explain why it is considered the only way and how it helps spiritually?
Yes. Hare Krishna. Very wonderful question. So, let us try to understand one thing, that in this uh, in this human form of life, see, it is applicable for all living entities, but as human beings we can relate it to it, because if we say animals, right, animals may not be hearing Bhagavad Gita or may be able to understand that, absorb that. There are such special great animals also, like who have that past birth sukriti. But let's talk about human beings. So, whatever we do, if we try to find out why we are trying to do something, then there is one thing that boils down to. We want to do something because for anyone or anything that we do, if we are working, if we are studying, we want to please someone. Okay. Or we want to reciprocate with someone. Sometimes we may want to please our teachers, right? And through that, like, okay, we want to come back and tell our parents that, okay, oh, see, I got, see my report card, I got this nice. And ultimately, we want to see the joy in our parents' face. Or I got a bonus in my salary. When someone comes and tells their wife or their husband, they want to see that joy in their face. Or, you know what, I did this. And we want to see the joy in the other person's face, right? So if one is not able to reciprocate with that, then what happens? Like, okay, if let's say one is a millionaire, okay, one has got all the opulence of life and is in an island alone there with no one to reciprocate with. Now, how many of us will choose that kind of option? You don't get to talk to anyone, you have no one to interact with, you get $1 million, you have everything, and you be there. Now,
No.
right? So
Yeah.
even though one wants to be wealthy, but one does not want to be put in that condition, because at the end of the day, we want to reciprocate with someone. So that means that we all want love, and we want to give love, and we want to get love. That is what everyone is looking for. Every living entity is looking for love. And in this material world that we are bound, this love is in a perverted reflection. So the in spiritual world, this love is in the most natural state, where one reciprocates with Krishna. In this material world, the closest to that, not the exact same, the closest to that that can go is the mother's love with an infant. When the infant is born, at that time, if you see, the mother selflessly serves that infant. The mother wakes up all night and trying to take care of the infant. The infant wakes up, oh, the mother is gets up. The mother doesn't think, I did not sleep. What is this? Right? The mother is trying to take care of that infant. But as the infant starts growing up, then the mother starts having expectation. You should do this. Oh, I'm very angry with you. Or this child will grow up and then will look after me. In all other relationships, if you see, there is always an expectation. If you do this, then I will do this. If you do this, then I'll do this. If you are doing like this, then I'll be happy. Right? This is what comes into play. But the original, the love means that is unconditional. Krishna is unconditional to each and every living entity, not just to his devotees. See, if one is an atheist, Krishna says that, okay, Maya Dhakshana Kaunteya, this entire creation is all living, all moving and non-moving entities are working on my direction. And that guy doesn't believe in me. Come on, you will have a disease, you will never get a job. An egoistic person can say like that. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna has given them also the independence. Okay, you can do. And that love that he's saying is not by force, it is by choice. See, love cannot happen by force. Hey, come on, love me. That cannot happen, right? So Krishna is saying what his position is. And when one engages in devotional service, what happens is they start having a relationship with Krishna. And there are 9 processes for this devotional services. Shravanam means it starts by hearing. See, because if I don't even know who the person is, then will I love that person? So it starts by hearing about Krishna. When we hear about Krishna, when we say, oh, Krishna did like this, oh, he did like this also, oh, he did like this, so compassionate, such a wonderful person, then we start liking that person. So when we are attentively hearing, what is the result of that? When we attentively hear, we feel, "Arre, he's such a nice person. I have to tell this to someone else." Next process, kirtanam starts. Whatever we have heard, we do kirtanam. See, if we hear criticism of someone, we will do kirtan of criticism. Okay. But when we hear about Krishna, we want to, if we have heard it very attentively, then we start doing kirtanam. We start sharing. And when we do kirtanam, then what happens? There starts a process of Vishnu Smaranam. Then we start getting remembrance of Krishna. By kirtanam, what are we doing? We are remembering Krishna. And similarly, there are 9 processes. So there was a question asked, like, okay, which of this process is best of this, right? Like 9 processes are there. Now, if we have to do all 9 processes, then we may not be able to start it on day first. Which of these? So out of this, most important is to hear. Okay, the first thing that we have to do is to hear. But which is the most potent? Because you asked, like, okay, that Harinam. So out of this most potent, so Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, তার মধ্যে সর্বশ্রেষ্ঠ নাম সংকীর্তন নিরপরাধ নাম লয় পায় প্রেমধন. Out of all these 9 processes, তার মধ্যে সর্বশ্রেষ্ঠ, what is that? Naam Sankirtan. And what is the ultimate prayojan? Means what is the ultimate? See, when we do a job, right, we need salary for that, right? What is the ultimate thing that you get out of that? Nirapradhe nama loy paye premadhan. One who offenselessly chants, that person gets premadhan, Krishna prem. And what is the result of Krishna prem? The result of Krishna prem is, see, think about this. Many people go to the temple, right? They go have darshan, Hare Krishna. Krishna, please bless me so that I get a job. Please bless me so that I get nice result. Please bless me so that person who is there, that person stops troubling me. Many types of things will be there. But think about it. If we get Krishna's darshan, let's say Krishna comes in front of us. Okay, what will be the result? We'll be super happy, right? But what has happened to people in the past? Duryodhan got darshan of Krishna. Krishna was right in front of him. Dhritarashtra was right in front of Krishna. They could not Dhritarashtra knew that this is Krishna is Bhagwan, Swayam Bhagwan. Duryodhan was thinking that okay, he's a magician. But Vidur had love for Krishna. And so, because Vidur had love for Krishna, when Duryodhan invited Krishna that way, Krishna, come to my place. I will have Chappan Bhog for you. So Krishna came in his chariot, and Duryodhan had like trumpets and everything, drum, everything. They were all beating everything. They were ready. Like, okay, very nice. Let me invite Krishna. As soon as Krishna got down from chariot, all these trumpets and everything started beating. And at that point of time, Krishna did not even look there. Krishna went to Vidur's house, which is like a very small quarters. He stayed in a very simple place, and Vidur was not even home. Vidurani was there. When Vidurani opened the door, oh Krishna, I am not even prepared because they did not even invite Krishna. And Vidurani started, she thought, okay, where do I make Krishna sit? Oh, Krishna. She forgot in all these things, and she thought, okay, let me offer something to Krishna. What do I give to Krishna? Okay. Let me bring bananas. Only I have. Okay, let me give this. And she started giving banana peels to Krishna and throwing away the actual banana. When she did that, Krishna was eating the banana peels. Why? Because it was coming out of love. Now think about it. Can we give to when we offer food to Lord, right? Can we just eat those food? Like Krishna, have it. Can we give that?
No.
No, but Shabri did that. This is exactly what Shabri did. Because what was her mood? Every day that she would go to pick the berries, it was not for one day that she did that. Her guru, I'm forgetting the name. Her guru told that okay, one day he called all his disciples and he said, okay, it is our time. We are now going back to the spiritual world. Shabri, only you stay back here. Ore Guru Maharaj, if you all go, then what will I do here? No, I want you to stay here, and you just you just bring berries, everything nicely, and you keep this place clean, my ashram clean, and you chant Lord Ram's name. Ram, 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 Ram. And one day Lord Ram will come. What happened is, Shabri had faith in the words of his spiritual master. It was in Satya Yuga that his Guru Maharaj told him. The Yuga itself changed. Treta Yuga happened. She continued, Ram, Ram. Not that, okay, Are, kya Guru Maharaj chale gaye? Guru Maharaj is left, and now Ram has also not come. What to do? Let me also leave this ashram. She continued that. And what happened is, as she kept chanting, Lord Ram came there. Lord Ram came there. The holy name of Lord Ram is so powerful that it attracted Lord Ram, such that Lord Ram came there personally. She got the fortune that Dashrath Maharaj also did not get. Lord Ram left from Ayodhya, but Shabri kept calling out to Lord Ram, and Lord Ram came there. This is the power of holy name. When we call out for the holy name, what happens is, first thing, it cleanses our heart if we chant with sincerity. And then what happens? We can see Radha Shyam Sundar within our heart. We can have Krishna Darshan, and all the pastimes of the Lord gets manifested in our heart. Whatever we hear, right? That same pastimes are happening in our heart also. But our eyes become open to that. That is why at the starting of the class we say this mantra, Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. That I was born ignorant, ওম অজ্ঞানতার মধ্যে ছিলাম। We say, right? So Om Ajnanatimirandasya. Timir is a fish, like just a fish. I'm born ignorant. Jnananjana Shalakaya. But with the torchlight of knowledge, I have been awakened. Chakshur Unmilitam Yena. My eyes have opened up. Chakshur is eyes. Unmilitam. They have opened up. Tasmai Shri Gurave Nama. Who has opened it? A bona fide Guru. That Guru Maharaj, I pay my humble obeisances. I do my pranams to that Guru who is opening this. So, when we accept a bona fide Guru, when we really want to understand Krishna, who he is, then the Guru comes in our life to enlighten us, to really uplift us from our situation. Because materially we might be struggling in various situations, but when we find the joy in Krishna consciousness, we can see that, okay, no matter what our situation is, we are completely blissful in every situation. And to experience that, it is very, very important that we cleanse our heart. Because when we offer food to the Lord, do we offer, if we go to anyone's house, will they give us food in their own plate like that they have eaten?
No.
Come on, I just had it, like, okay, have it this. So no, and no one will give us that. And will we give such a plate to Lord where with all the previously used? No, we need a clean plate, right? So similarly, to offer ourselves to Lord, we also have to be clean from outside and from inside, because we are contaminated from our previous all past lives. Because of that only we are not able to approach Krishna. As soon as slowly as the purification happens, we'll see we'll be attracted towards Krishna. And as we become more and more attracted towards Krishna, we see how each and every, with every step of advancement, we can see how blissful this Krishna consciousness is. But through this process, what we need is guidance, determination, patience. Okay, it will not be an overnight thing, because whatever we have accumulated, but if we are sincere, it will happen very rapidly. Just like if one has to go from Detroit to Houston, there are various ways one can go. One can go in a flight. Let's say it takes 3 hours by flight. Okay. But if one goes by car, obviously it will take 22 hours or 24 hours, whatever. But if one goes by bike, it'll take further less, right? Okay. And if it's if one is if it is a motorized bike, it might be less than that. If it is just a bicycle, then it might be several days or even more than a month. What is that thing? That is the extent of our sincerity, is the rapidness by which we can move. I hope that answers your question. Hare Krishna.
It makes sense now. And thank you so much for this answer. So I have another question. Can I ask now?
Sure.
I wrote this down. Let me check. So you mentioned that we are only about 5,000 years into Kali Yuga and things will become worse. How can a person practically make a permanent spiritual plan to get out of this situation?
Fantastic question.
Thank
So,
you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, in order to make a permanent plan to get out of this situation, one only has to do one thing with focus. That is, they have to be very determined to take shelter of a bona fide guru and practice Krishna consciousness. See, the guru, we have to desire for a guru and we have to practice. What is there in the practice? Practice is by four things. Remember these things. There are do's and don'ts. Okay. So write this in the do's: A, B, C, and D rule. What is this A? A is to have right set of association. B stands for books, reading Srila Prabhupada books, having a practice to daily read little bit. Okay, we cannot become expert in a day, but we have to read Srila Prabhupada books. And I would advise you, like, if you want, you can start reading the book Science of Self-Realization. That would be a very good starting point. The third thing is C. C is chanting, regular chanting. To start with, we don't need to be a 16 rounder, but we should have an ideal that one day I want to reach that 16 round. But when we start, we should focus, we should think that, okay, how much time, say as a student, you have to decide how much time do I have to give to Krishna. Okay. We don't have to make such a plan that, okay, which we cannot keep up to. So let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you think that, okay, I can maybe start by giving 30 minutes or 1 hour for Krishna. Okay. So if that's the case, if it is 1 hour is the thing, then I would suggest, like, okay, we should try to do it such a way that we are chanting for some time and we are reading for some time. And that, like, it requires, like, okay, understanding your situation and then providing proper guidance for that. So that is C. And then D is diet. That is having anything and everything that we take should be offered to Krishna. So initially, when we start, let's say at our home, when there is cooking being done, we can tell our mother that let's say if there are some food that are being cooked which cannot be offered to Krishna, then you can request that, okay, whatever can be offered to Krishna, let us start offering that and just have that. And whenever we have that, every time we have to remember that Krishna, with every such offering, this you have had it. So please nourish my soul through this. I want to really get attracted to you. I want to really serve you in a way that I can please you. Krishna, this every grain that is going, that is invaluable. I really want to serve you, Krishna. I really, really want to serve you. For millions of lifetimes, I have served Maya Devi, but now I really want to serve you. Please, and please bless me so that I get a bona fide guru very soon in my life. This, I can tell you for sure that when you make this prayer regularly, Krishna is hearing this. And we should see that whenever we get time, we should talk to Krishna. It could be a picture of Krishna that we are talking to. But when we are talking to Krishna, Krishna is hearing everything. He is accepting everything that we are saying. And only time will reveal how he reciprocates. It is for sure, guaranteed. So these are the four things that we can do. And what we should not do is these four things. If we want to become sincere, then we should try to avoid any kind of meat eating, then any kind of intoxication. In intoxication, actually, tea and coffee also comes. But there are other alternatives for tea and coffee, which tastes very similar. Yes, so I can provide those details. And then C is, the third is no, no gambling. And fourth is no illicit relationship. So if we follow this and if we are praying to Krishna, every day we will make progress. We very soon we can we can actually visibly see like okay, how we are making progress. And over a period of time, we will develop the taste for chanting. Depending on our contaminations, like okay, from the past, it may not happen overnight, but still we should keep chanting because sometimes we may feel that okay, I'm not feeling like chanting. But if we continue to do that, Krishna will empower us in due course of time. I hope that answers your question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Like now everything is makes sense. In past those days, like I was confused, everything, and everything is like messed up, you know.
No
But
problem.
now I feel good. I can do it now. Thank you so much. Like I would say I really appreciated the you explained spiritual topics so clearly and happily. And now it makes sense. The class helps me understand devotion and Krishna consciousness better. Thank you
Hare,
so much.
you are very, very welcome. And if you have any questions, like, okay, you can also message me, like, okay. If also for the tea and coffee, like if you need, I can send you those other alternatives also.
Yes, I want.
Okay, I will send you those.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yes, I have also tried those, and those are very good actually. They although they are just alternatives, you won't feel like they're alternatives.
Okay.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Anyone
Hare
else has
Krishna.
any other question or comments? Or we can stop it here otherwise. So Pooja Mataji is joining us for the first time. I sincerely request everyone to unmute and say once Haribol for her and bless me also with your Haribol. I really, really pray sincerely from the bottom of my heart, Pooja Mataji, that you
Thank you.
progress unlimitedly in Krishna consciousness and may you get very wonderful um, realizations and may you soon get blessings of the Guru Parampara. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Srila Prabhupada
Krishna.
ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna, everyone.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gauranga Kuti Govinda ki jai.
Hari
Srila
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai.